Okay, this is a video about King Thrash talking about Starfield and raising some fallacious issues and some nonsense about the game using old footage and out-of-context quotes. Let's see what he has to say.
How do I feel about Starfield and Starfield's success in the gaming industry?
Obviously, you're being sarcastic. What you're trying to do is you're trying to barter here so that you can eventually crap on it because you're a Sony pony. It's what you're going to do because, and then you're going to double down on your stupidity like you did with your Jupiter comments.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, PlayStation's been around dominating, doing...
Yeah, no, you don't think it's fantastic. In fact, you see it as a threat. This is obviously sarcasm on your part.
What we do, but it's about time we got competition. It's been nothing but bullshit up until now. Microsoft been paying motherfuckers big money to get bullshit awards.
This is a conspiracy theory. Pretty much, your argument is that is basically Alex Jones' conspiracy theory, where you're rambling about outside alien force conspiring to bribe others to do an action that is ludicrous and obscene.
Why in the fuck they give these niggas award for being green? Anything about great games?
Because there's more to the world than just being a simple color. Obviously, you see the world in colors and have to bash colors other than what you see, which obviously can extend into other areas, which I will not delve into, because I know you're going to cry about that as well.
In shambles, anything. But then they came along and dropped a banger like Starfield. I mean, have you seen the character models?
This video is from stolen footage before the pre-patch update, the day one update, so therefore he's using a straw man argument by using out-of-date information to prove a point when modern-day information will correct it.
This game, I mean, it has eyes, right, that float, and lips.
What he's displaying here is a UC soldier that has lost his facial animation, his only eyeballs and a mouth and a suit. He's going to use this pre-patch footage to argue against the game, when in fact it's just from the stolen footage originally. This is obviously a straw man argument.
That float. And then the eyes, if you look close, have fucking eyebrows, bro. Like, that's fucking genius.
You see, when you play with a lot of the settings in the PC version, you can cause a lot of spontaneous errors, especially when you restrict process calls or shut down cores on your video card. You can cause events that will cause modeling errors or graphical issues because you're messing with specific issues on your video card. This is not a natural effect of the game under normal operating conditions. It's in fact a misrepresentation because it's from messed video and audio settings at the hands of a person who's trying to present a dishonest argument.
Thought process. And it could read tablets. And we're not even gonna get into the motherfucking
If his argument is a character reading a tablet in a sci-fi game, that's really a stretch of a nitpick, because you would expect a character to read from a tablet in a science fiction game.
Animations, have you seen that shit? This nigga looked like a mix of Rasheed Wallace.
Again, this model is contorted because someone messed with their driver settings in their video card on the PC port, and they're using this to present a straw man argument because they intentionally set the conditions for this event to happen in the game. This does not happen under normal operating conditions.
And Rampage from the UFC, but his voice acting settings was set to Space Urkel. I mean,
the slanderous comments that he's making really has no impact on the perspective skew that's been applied to the model because someone adjusted their graphic settings. So he's really just insulting the character for the sake of someone adjusting a graphics character. This whole argument's ridiculous because it's just manufactured errors on the part of a dishonest actor.
Do that. Look at the PS4. This is a generation after this.
The Starfield is not on the PS4. I don't know what game this is from, so he's obviously using a imagery from a different game in a CGI cutscene to prove his point, and I find this to be irrelevant.
Why shouldn't he? Why didn't he?
The fact that they went back to the 360 era and made a game for the 360 is incredible. And the way they put it together, we could never do that on the PS.
This game would have. This game cannot run on the PS3. It is incapable. The graphics packs and the creation engines would overflow the memory. It would be the same as trying to run this game on the Switch. It would exceed the hardware capabilities of the 360s and the Switch. So therefore, his outrageous claim is infactual because of an architectural issue. So therefore, he's just using this to slander the game, essentially.
I mean, graphically, we had a little bit better things on the PlayStation Vita. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Resistance on the PlayStation Vita had a little bit better lighting, a little bit better animation.
The PlayStation Vita operated at such a tiny resolution. I think it was like 320 or maybe 480. They could if you tried to blow up those resolutions to 4K, they would be unwatchable.
And the characters and all that. But that's because we worked on it for years. This right here, I mean, just look at it. I mean, you gotta respect the fact that they can do this on a 360 on the left side, and on the right side, it's a PC.
Again, I don't know what game this is from, and he's using it as a straw man argument because obviously there was a remaster between the 360 and whatever game this is. I'm not sure what he's comparing. I don't know who this character is, and I've played through Starfield.
On a 1080. I mean, these are the graphics that we wish we had back then. I mean, just look at Uncharted, bro.
You couldn't have wished you had them back then because they didn't exist. Because the Series X didn't exist back then. This is a chronological snobbery argument, logical fallacy.
I mean, just look at we had better acting and better story and camera, and we had acting.
The quality of storytelling and narration is based on genre and coherency. The coherency in Starfield's story is relatively coherent. You're on a mission. All the missions reflect a central origin point to achieve the end. When you go to get the powers at the anomalies and stuff like that, and there is a specific goal in mind in a central mission. Therefore, the storytelling is just fine. You just find the aesthetic quality problematic because you do not like Xbox. Therefore, your opinions are already poisoned from the start.
Takedowns and hurting actual enemies, and we had all of that. But look at what
you can shoot enemies and hurt enemies in the game. When you shoot at space pirates, they get hurt and they die. Your argument is not quantitative.
They have. Look at Milk Nigga. You know what I'm saying? The infamous Milk Nigga.
This scene that he's talking about is when you get your first power, which is the gravitational rise ability, and the person that he stole this footage from obviously is using it in a town setting, and they're using the PC version of this game, and they downsampled the video quality to such a low degree that it's pretty much at like 144p. Which again is another dishonest representation because I've seen this city. It's New Atlantis, and he's messed with the video settings to make it look at 144p. And if you do this event in New Atlantis, you'll get a police wanted level, and you'll have to pay a ransom, which is usually like 30,000 credits or something.
Literally do a power and teleport several people around you, and it looks pretty good for that era. You feel me? And
he's downsampled the graphics so low that he's tried to use it as a straw man for this chronological snobbery argument that he's making. He thinks that if he turns the graphics down to 144p, he can say that's the native resolution of the game, and say that freaking it belongs on 360, which again is the logical fallacy known as chronological snobbery.
Even though we can probably take it back to like Resistance 3. I mean, it's an old first-person shooter, but it...
No, we can't take it back to Resistance 3 because you've sabotaged your argument by downsampling the graphics to 144p. Therefore, your argument is fraudulent to begin with because you've screwed with your evidence.
The one back in the same era that this game was made for.
Jim, I think you're confused. This isn't a 360 game. This is for the Xbox Series S and X.
There's no way that this is a current gen.
This argument is fraudulent because he has messed with the video. Obviously, he messed with the video and is trying to make it look like old generation by showing you a video at 144p. And this is a completely dishonest position he's taking.
Oh yes, it's a current generation game. This is for the Xbox Series S and X.
Again, he's making an argument that a current generation game has downgraded graphics because he fraudulently altered the graphics to 144p to make this argument. Therefore, he fabricated evidence, which makes his entire claim false.
And PC, not on PlayStation. Ponies are mad about this. I think you should automatically know what's going on in the generations. You're sort of the boss of play.
He's altering his voice to basically make fun of Xbox fans, to promote his dishonest, because he trivializes them and he thinks that they're lesser than them, because King Thrash is an absolute supremacist.
Hold on. You telling me that this game right here is a next generation Xbox Series X game? How the fuck do we even manage?
The reason why you managed this argument is because you fraudulently presented evidence by altering it to 144p. This is your strawman argument in a nutshell. You had to alter the evidence to present a fake narrative.
I can't even compute this shit. Like, you telling me...
You can't compute anything because you don't know that you can't land on Jupiter because it's made of gas. Therefore, you're going to pass off fraudulently altered data and expect nobody to notice.
This is all competition. This with the rocks and that's all. Why would?
If your complaint is that there are rocks on a barren planet in space, that is pointing out the obvious, and that is similar to your water pretending itself to be wet claim. I mean, the water doesn't need to deceive us to let us know it's wet.
They make a game next generation with absolutely no next generation features within it.
The reason why you're making this argument of no next generation features is because you fraudulently altered the video to 144p to make that claim true.
And then God is beautiful, and it has fucking boundaries and shit. These motherfuckers.
Yes, it's an RPG that has boundaries. It's not an open world game. You generate the friggin' sandbox that you want to friggin' play in. You do your missions, and then you exit the sandbox. That is how this game works. If it's not to your expectation, I guess that's just too bad. It's not up to your expectation because you don't have authority over anything because you're a Sony pony, and no Xbox person will ever respect you for that.
Is using cube maps with frame rates and resolutions lower than my mother.
The frame rates and resolutions are at 4K. You've downsampled the video to 144p to make this argument, which makes your argument fraudulent.
Fucking blood sugar levels. Give me my phone.
I don't know what blood sugar levels is. You're going to have to explain this to me because it makes no sense.
I'm going to have to call niggas and understand how this is
You don't have an army. You don't have anyone to call. All you have is YouTube, and that's it. You're not going to summon minions. You're not some evil supervillain. You don't even know that you can't land on Jupiter because it's made of gas. What makes you think that any minion is ever going to follow you blindly and obey you like an army? They're not.
Generation game. Motherfucking PSP was built with leftover calculator parts and compare.
I have a PSP, and its resolution is awful, and I can't play it in direct sunlight because sunlight oversaturates it and makes the screen unwatchable.
Listen to the Xbox Series X, and the motherfucker still didn't have open world games that felt boxed in like New York traffic. Look at my handshake. Even if I spin my hand, see it still shaking? It's because I'm fucking angry.
That look on his face does not display anger. In fact, that look on his face displays boredom. Again, you're misrepresenting this point by using a framing argument to elicit an emotion that's not present.
Bro, wouldn't you be angry? These motherfuckers was hyping this shit up as the next big thing.
No, I'm not angry because freaking this game works for me. It does things I need it to do. You're angry because it's not on PS5 and you feel like you've been deprived of something. I'm going to end this video here because it's getting completely pointless because all he's doing is he's going to harp on the graphics by showing video clips at 144p and downsampled resolutions because it's just fraud on his part. So let's end this video before